Hopefully everybody can hear me. Let's see. Good morning, Perry, Maria, Courtney, Grace and Claire. Good morning, Jody, Susan, Mitzi. Yep. Matt. Hello, Laura, Jane, Georgia, Michelle. It's going quickly. Val, Tommy, Helen, Boo. Good morning, Kay, Matt, Elaine, Erin. Good morning, Gary. Good morning. Alicia, is that? Yeah, Alicia. Francesca, Rebecca, good morning. Good morning. I'm having a look at the numbers. Yeah, Matt said he hasn't seen this for a while. And I'm greeting you this morning like this. And I wonder who can... Hello, Demi. Hello, Sharon. I wonder who can guess why I am greeting you like this morning. Why am I doing that? What do you think? Hello. It is how you greet your guests. Yes, it's how you greet your guests. You're illegally doing here. No, I have got my lippy on today. Yeah, this is how you greet your guests. And so this morning, I wanted to greet you this way so that you could experience what that is like. And good morning, Martin and Amy. Good morning. We're still waiting for people to come into the room, so I'm leaving it on for a little while, for a minute. And for those of you that are coming in, by the way, did you, when you came into the it's called the lobby, you know, where you wait, new experience this morning? Who had the new experience this morning? Tell me what happened, because of course, morning, Claire, Maggie, Irma, Grace. Yep, so you got a little video of me, did you? Hello, and some music. I'm glad you like the music. It's my favourite right now. The song's called Optimistic, and I played it last Friday, and I played it in the room, if you remember. So we've taken it a step further, and we played it in the lobby, or you played it for yourself in the lobby. Optimistic. And that version that you heard this morning, that is the new version by Brian Power, and it's top of the soul charts right now, and I'm not surprised about that. So let me have a look. We've got a fair amount of people in the room. So I've greeted you this morning like this because this is how you greet your clients. Okay, I'm going to take it off now, if that's okay. That's how you greet your clients. And I've been concerned since the beginning of all this about, you'll remember way back, you know, when everyone was kind of second guessing what we were going to have to do back in June, you know, when everyone said, do you think we're going to have to wear a mask? Do you think we're going to have to wear a visor? And we started off with the visors, and then eventually the government said that we had to wear those type 2 masks, right? And I was concerned, and one of the reasons why I was concerned is that once it went on, we have to wait for somebody to tell us now that you haven't got to wear it anymore, okay? And one of the things that we are now coming to know is that this thing's not going away. So they're now talking about, you know, how we will all move forward and how we will make sure that we keep contained new strains, etc., etc. My guess is going to be that all that stuff is not going to go away in a hurry. So we have to really think about, you know, in our business, what that means for how we communicate with people, you know, and how hairdressers work like that all day, every day. Hats off to you. Honestly, I think the way our industry has embraced this for the most part, because of course there are lots of people that are not embracing it in the way that they should, but in the most part, the way our industry has embraced it and moved forward with it is absolutely amazing. So hats off to you all for that. Let me 2021, looking ahead, you know, I mean, I don't want to speculate, actually. the news can do that for us. But we do know that for the most part, what we've been doing is what we will be compelled to do. Today, we are looking at improving consultations. And we're really gonna look back at a little bit of history. One of the things I'm going to try and do is give you compelling reasons to adopt new ways to work. And the more I look into this, the more I know that we're onto something. So one of the things that I put on this for this webinar, I said, if the hair industry, salons and stylists are to take advantage of the opportunity presented by the recent reclassification by the government to create a specific sector, we are now personal care, so we're our own sector, we must start by elevating our consultations. And the reason why I started like this morning, right, is because all of the things that you have learned about consultation, well, not all of them, but many of them are blown out of the water by this kit, right? So what kind of things are blown out of the water by this kit? Somebody tell me. What kind of things are blown out of the water by this kit? Yep, lip reading, the smile, yep, the expression, yep, facial expressions, yep, your ability to be able to, and of course, sitting face to face with the client, you can't do anymore. So building that rapport has become more difficult. Yeah, the warmth of it. Matt has said retail sales, that first impression, all laughing. Yep. Handshakes have gone. You can't gauge someone else's emotion because the client is also wearing a mask, right? And so now with our existing clients, that's not too bad. You already have a rapport with those people. But for our new clients or clients that we don't know quite as well, all those things become very difficult. So we really need to think about, what we do about this as we move forward. Now, we've talked about this the last few, and I'm going to keep talking about it because what I want to do is I want to shift your mindsets. You see, one of the things that stops you from implementing things, and only one of the things, there's other things, right? But one of the things is your mindset, what you believe is possible and what you believe is right. And so we really need to shift some of these mindsets that we have. When we talk about consultations in the way that we talk about them this morning, it's something that Carly and I have been talking about and working on for, oh gosh, how long, Carly? How long? And I think I even remember the car journey where we really started talking about it. And it was when 2 years, says Carly. Yeah. And I think it might even be a little bit longer than that. But I think I even remember the car journey when we started talking about it. And let me tell you where my first awareness of, this was something that we had to get into. It was because when we have hairdressers who work, let's say that they work mobile or they work alone, they're taking all their own appointments, number one. But number two, they have to organise their work in a slightly different way. And it came to my attention that often what happens is that the hairdressers they'd be having a consultation with the client before they've even met the client by saying, can you show me a picture of your hair? Etc., etc. And they were doing it to organise their work time. So Carly and I have been talking about this for a couple of years. Many of you we'd have spoken to. Now, in fact, Carly and I she sent me a message this morning. By the way, she said my video that I put out this morning reminded her of the lone nut. Thanks for that, Carly. Anyway, so this morning, Carly said, she even had a period of time where she would talk to salon owners about it, and salon owners would say, no, my clients won't like that. No, my stylist won't like that. This is called NIMBY. right? Not in my backyard. And I've seen it so many times. Anyway, Carly said this morning, she said, I even started doubting whether it would ever take off. She said, but now I realise, like, this is the time and this is exactly what we should be doing. And that's hopefully some of what I'm going to be able to help you to shift your mindset today towards where we need to be. So, and stock, what does that mean? 2 years and stock. I think she typed wrong there. But anyway, or maybe it was a joke I missed. I don't know. So, let's get on with this now. Actually, it was whilst having a chat last night at about 9 o'clock with a salon owner, a very good friend of mine, that I thought about this principle and this slide. If I had more time, because I literally thought about it 9 o'clock last night, if I had more time, I would have changed this slide. So I apologize that it's an old slide that I've used, and so therefore it's got some old information on it, but the principle is the same, and it is the principle of idea adoption, right? Adopting new ideas. Now, I want you to really think about where you are in this idea adoption, okay? So look along the bottom. It gives us the title of each of the characters, each of the categories. So innovators, firstly, innovators, people that innovate. Innovators are people that go, wow, okay, here's something that we should be working on, and they pick it up and they innovate, they make the ideas. And listen, I don't want to blow smoke up my own proverbial backside today, but I'm not going to pull any punches. And the reason why I'm not is because this is what we are going to do in my business. And I know there's a few of you who said, absolutely, I'm taking this opportunity to do it in my business. And one of the things I'm going to tell you is I am an innovator. I've realised that. It's why Leslie Spears gave me the job. When he gave me the job at 365, it was because I would pick ideas up and I would just make them work, right? And I would just run with them. So you can decide to be an innovator. Now, if something, not everybody, is an innovator. Not everybody maybe has the same ability to think creatively or to overcome obstacles as easy as others. Remember, our ability, our mindset, everything that goes on in here, some of it is wired in from your DNA, okay? So I accept that. So not everyone's an innovator, but everybody can be this, an early adopter. Now, by the way, let's just go back a minute. You see with innovators, you see at the top, innovators fundamentally accept, believe, are comfortable with failure, right? Not everything is going to work, or not everything's going to work first time. Now, the problem with most people is they try something once, and when it doesn't work, what do? They try it once, it doesn't work, what do? They give up. They say, well, that don't work. They give up. They don't accept that, well, maybe I need to try it a different way. So they haven't got the courage of their conviction, right? Yeah, they make excuses. So we must make sure that, if it doesn't work first time, it just means that we have to make some little adjustments. That's really what innovation is about. By the way, I saw a great quote last week. Any change is innovation, right? Anyway, so let's move on to the early adopters. Now, the early adopters are people that go, that's brilliant, right? And the early adopters, they can then take what the innovators have put into place and they can work out the kinks. Can you see there? It says working out the kinks. Now, again, for early adopters, normally what happens is that there'll be some things that work, straight away, and there'll be other things that won't work straight away. So these are things that we don't give up, right? We give it the courage of our conviction. So Now, then we have the early majority, and this is where I apologise because it says there, I heard Cara Delevingne has one. So the early, right, so this is like people who, they have to wait until it's kind of a fashion, right? So, but there's still kind of the early majority. But they have to wait till it's a fashion. They have to wait until it becomes like the cool thing to do, as it were. So, um, uh, because they still have this mindset, I think I can, I think I can, I think I can. So they have like a positive mindset to things, but they do have to wait until they see others do it. And they see it's a cool thing to do. Now, the problem with that early majority, yeah, that's okay, that's good, but it doesn't mean, you see, the first rule of marketing, who can tell me what it is? I want to make sure we get some interaction today. Who can tell me what it is? The first rule of marketing. The first rule of marketing. Someone's going to come up with it, I know. I'm not going to read out the ones that are not right. The first rule of marketing, it's from the book. No, someone's going to get it right, I think. Nope. Nope. It's because you got, we had a typo on a thing. Know your audience. We had a typo, Daisy, on a reminder. We sent out another one, but I knew that some people wouldn't get it. No. Okay. The first rule of marketing. I'm so glad when we're learning new stuff today. And on the top of my head, I can. Who said Kim? Well done. It's better to be first than it is to be better. It's the first rule of marketing. And the book is called The Laws of Marketing. I'm sorry, Matt. Sorry, Matt. All right. Matt said it ages ago. I didn't see it. It's better to be first than it is to be better. Remember that. It's the first rule of marketing, right? So, then we have the late majority, right? So then we have like the big crowd that sort of weighed in, and they have to wait until they see a lot of people doing it. And so that's why it says, I found it in a Tesco superstore. I mean, by the time something, a product gets to Tesco's, that's mass market, right? So the late majority, that's what they have to do. And then at the back there, we've got the laggards, right? No change equals no change. And they're the people say, what new product? Like what's going, they're in their own world, or, they hate change so much. They live with their head buried in the sand, right? So you have to decide which one you are. Now, after idea adoption, there's a very important principle. Let's get this down this morning, right? We've talked about it the last 2 Fridays. Who can tell me what idea adoption, we adopt the idea, what's the next really important thing? So even for people that adopt an idea, this part becomes a barrier for them if they've not got enough tenacity. Yes, Matt, implementation. So many people don't implement it. Now, I want to see, there must be some people here. There must be some people here. Wait a minute, I just want to have a look. If not, okay. So when I first, we're going to do some history today. When I first joined 365 30 years ago, it was really successful for me very quickly. Who can tell me why? Who can tell me why? Who can tell me why it was very successful for me? Because I did it. That is exactly right, Matt. And you will remember, some of you will remember that Keith and Leslie used to say that to people all the time. I never questioned things, right? They said, this is what you do. I went, okay, right? Okay, that's what we do. And we literally went back to the salon and we put it in place, right? And Elaine was with me on those, my first round of BBs. And that's just what we used to talk about it. We used to stay up all like half the night between Monday and Tuesday talking about, and then on the car in the way home. And 365 used to say, now don't go back to the salon and jump on everybody. And but I'm sorry to say that was, well, we always we jumped on people. Not really. I mean, we always went back with a plan. That's what we did. So we'd have a team meeting and we'd introduce it to the team and we'd have training days and etc. etc. Now, I'm not telling you these things to impress you. I'm telling you to impress upon you. When they say success leaves clues, right? Success leaves clues. I'm giving you the clues. There are some things already in the last 2 weeks that I've asked people to do. And I know some people have done them, and congratulations for those of you that have, and some haven't, right? And some haven't. Now, what are some of those things? Let's see if we can come up with that list of things that I've asked people to do, and let's see if they've done them. Right, well, the Beth Zoom, exactly. I hope by now you've all seen that. The Zoom with Beth, that was one of them. Yep, Beth's video. What were some of the other things? Read the article, that's right, because it's absolutely linked. Now, that article has been printed in Professional Hairdresser magazine this month. And they've printed it in there because they too believe that this is the way forward. So there's another little clue, right? So, yeah, that was something else. What else did I ask you to do? Let's see what else people did. It's me too. Thanks, Sharon, for... thank you, Sharon, for sharing with everyone. That was great. Sign into Census. Yep. So Census have a locator, and I happened to notice that there were lots of people that are not signed up. And I wish I could do it for you because I want that locator to be full there, right? But go and have a look and see. Some people have told me, gosh, I thought I was on there, but when I went on there, I wasn't there. I don't know why that's happened. If you have previously registered yourself and you can't find yourself there, I apologise. I don't know why it's happened, but it has. So go and check that you're on there. Right, so that was what else I asked you to do. Then there was something else. Actually, it was the idea of, I think it was from Marie Claire, right? And I said, oh, I'm going to pinch, that's a great idea. I'm going to pinch that idea. Who can tell me what it was? And funnily enough, Jane Reynolds this morning has sent me a message to say, here is the Valentine's card. Now, let me just show you something. This is what winners do. Again, I'm not doing it to impress you. I'm doing it to impress upon you. There is Valentine's card. This one is branded feathers. They are going to be writing a personal message on that side to their clients and sending it and putting a stamp on and sending it. I was reluctant really to show you this morning because we've also got one for Passion for Hair. So lots of you will be getting one of these from us. We're going to be completing them over the next couple of weeks and sending them out. It will mean a lot to people. Right? It will mean a lot to people. So I hope you've done that and jumped on it. And then the other thing was look at yes, Andy, you will. The other thing was to look on the Base Hair Company's website at what Michelle had done. And Michelle had struggled to get the salon love where she wanted it, and she put the website up, and the very, very next day she had a salon love sale. So that's absolutely fantastic. And while I'm at it, so that's absolutely fantastic. So let's see, where am I? Because thank you, Declan, for putting me like that so we could look at the card, but now I can't see. There we go. So we are understanding that it's about idea adoption and it's about implementation. And one of the things, what do you think is, in all the years I've been teaching salons, which is like 25 years plus now. What do you think has been the biggest excuse of people not being able to get stuff done? Time. Yes, it's the biggest excuse. Guess what you haven't got right now? The excuse of no time. You've got plenty of time. And I believe this is such a great opportunity. I'm going to present some other of that evidence to you in a second. Why have I got that like that? Wait a minute. I seem to have, because I thought this was my next slide. Now, I talked about this man last week. His name is Ali Parsa. He's the CEO of Babylon Healthcare. Last week I told you that he's working with Bupa and also with the NHS. And I've done a little bit more research about Ali. You might want to do the same. And I watched some of his. He's done a TED Talk, and he recently did a presentation for Amazon. And I watched that presentation. So where are we? We have, wait a minute. We have, this is what Ali said in his Amazon presentation. We have the opportunity to reassess the way we do things and choose a different way. It is a betrayal if we go back to the old way. The goal is to deliver appropriate care according to people's needs. That's what he said. And I wrote it down because he was talking, of course, about healthcare, right? But the same is true for what we do, right? So we have the opportunity to reassess the way we do things and choose a different way. Everybody's got that at the moment. It's a betrayal if we go back to the old way. So in other words, if we don't take this opportunity, we are betraying. Betraying who? Who would we be betraying? Who would we be betraying? Yep, ourselves. Quite right, Sharon. For all the years I've been in hairdressing, we have been trying to elevate our industry, right? And so this is our opportunity. The government have given us a new label. We need to live to it. Yep, our clients, right? Because there's an opportunity for us to improve what we do with our clients. And I do believe that. This is what our clients have to face today. And I want you to think about this for a second. If you've ever had a situation where you've got to go to the hospital, you know, a doctor, something, you know, like, you know, in your life is, and you meet the doctor for the first time, how impersonal is that? How do you feel about that? How do you feel about it? Right? And for years, we've been talking about felt plus, felt minus, how do we get the client to feel good, etc., etc. And we have a situation now where we have all these barriers, right? So we've got to overcome these things for our clients. These are things which are not helping communication, they're hindering it. We've got the opportunity to reassess as they have in the healthcare. Now, do you remember I told you last week that what Ali Parsa said, she's very, very interesting. He said, when a child is sick, we take them to the doctors and we take them into a GP's waiting room, which is probably, these are his words, not mine, the most germ-infected area on the planet. But now we don't do that. Now, if you have had reason to speak to a doctor or a health professional over the last year, tell me what is happening. Tell me what is happening. Yep, you get phone calls, video calls, everything's online. They ask you to send photographs, right? So somebody was telling me the other day they were actually diagnosed by a photograph for something that was going wrong on their fingernails, right? So it is quicker and easier. I mean, I don't know about you. I love it. Before, you used to have to try and ring the surgery. Takes you 2 hours to get through. And you still got. I mean, actually, no. I don't know about your surgery. It's much easier to get through to our surgery now, right? But then you have to wait days and days and days for an appointment. If it is something which is, you really feel that you need to see a doctor straight away, you now have to talk to the receptionist so that she can triage whether you are important enough to get in earlier, etc., etc. Now what is happening is that you are getting to speak to a doctor within hours of ringing the surgery, and they're doing Zoom and they're doing photographs. Now, you might be sitting there and your mindset, you see how we keep going back to the mindset, might be saying, yeah, but I'm not a doctor. We're not doctors, we're hairdressers. I found this. It literally popped up. I couldn't believe it. Now, you may or may not know about me. I'm a very keen swimmer. And I swim when my gym's open, right? I swim, I would say, at least 4 or 5 times a week. Okay, I'm a 6 a.m. swimmer. I'm an 8 p.m. at night swimmer. I even swim outside in minus temperatures. I'm a very keen swimmer. Anyway, this popped up, right? So weird. The paddock pool, right? The paddock pool. And it said, we are still open. It caught my attention because I thought, really? A pool that's still open? Maybe there's an opportunity for me to swim. Anyway, this bit didn't pop up first of all. This was the bit that I then screenshot. So I start reading about this company, and actually what they do is hydrotherapy for people. So I was like thinking about how I could, say, listen, I need some hydrotherapy. Let me come in for a swim, And then it said, well, look, whilst you may not want to attend an in-person hydrotherapy session right now, there's nothing stopping you from finding out more about whether hydrotherapy might be suitable for you and your condition. We now offer telephone consultations. I was like, it's everywhere. So, whilst again you might say, well, this is healthcare again, but this is hydrotherapy. This is alternative healthcare, right? And this is where we fit in, because what is going to happen from here, and I know that your mindset knows this because this has been happening for the last couple of years, people are putting their well-being at the forefront. Their well-being, and your hair is part of your well-being. When I arrived here this morning at Passion for Hair, one of the maintenance men happened to be in the car park, and we had a little good morning, how are you, and all of that. And he said, so we had a chat, and he said to me, he said, one of the things I'm really looking forward to is a haircut. Well, aren't we all? By the way, do you see I'm training my hair already for my summer mullet? So I'm training my hair already. I snipped a bit off here. I'm going to just keep snipping bits off and try and grow this down a little bit. Anyway, that's what I'm doing with my hair right now. So what we know is that we really can put ourselves into the well-being category. And when I say put ourselves, I'm not talking about clients making their mind up that hairdressers are in the well-being category. I'm talking about us pushing ourselves forward so we become recognized, if you like, as the well-being category. And we're going to explore more of that as we go forward. Now, we're going to go back in time a little bit. We're going to talk about the client journey. So, client makes an appointment. This is what used to happen. Client attends appointment, right? So, the first time, and we're going to take a new client as an example. Because for those of you that did go through 365, you'll remember we always focused on the new client. And the reason why we do that is because if you can get it right for the new client, then you can get it right for every client. The new client is, if you like, the client with the most needs. Okay. So the client, it's the first time we would see the client would be when the client arrives for the appointment. Now, let me just tell you something. I hope I've got some people on here that have been doing hairdressing. Just type yes if you've been doing hairdressing more than 30 years. I need the 30 years plus people. Okay, good. Because when I tell some of these youngsters what consultation used to be, they're not going to believe me. So I need you guys to back me up with this. So when I first was a hairdresser, the client would arrive. Let's imagine she's a new client. She would walk through the door and someone would greet her at the door and she would say, I've got an appointment with Debbie. And they would shout across the salon, Debbie, your 10 o'clock's here. And I would say, what would I say? Tell me the 30 plus. The 30 plus, my 30 pluses. What would I? Shampoo. Get her shampooed. Exactly. Get her shampooed. So the client would walk through the door and the first thing we would do is shampoo them. So we put a gown on, we shampoo their hair, sit them in a styling position, and the first time I would see that client, I would approach her from behind the chair with my scissors in one hand and my comb in the other, and I'd be absent-mindedly sort of combing her hair and looking at it, and I'd be saying, what we doing today? Right? How true is that, everybody? Please tell, because when I told somebody this the other day on the phone, they said, never. I said, yes, that's how it was, right? So when I first joined 365 and learned about 5-step recipe, right? And they said on BB1, you spent the whole of the first day. You spent the first session from the morning to the first break, and that was all about getting your mind ready to learn and be open to what you were going to see, and etc., etc. And then you would see for the rest of the day 5-step recipe, and they said the client comes through the door, you get eye contact, you smile, and who can tell me? And you introduce yourself by shaking hands. Yes, 30 years ago, everyone went shaking hands. My word, are you kidding me? Right? And then you sit with the client at eye level. You create a consultation area or a consultation system. You sit down with the client, eye level. You mirror her body language, etc., etc. Now, there were salons who were like, oh no, my clients are not going to like this. Oh no, my team are not going to like this. In fact, I'm going to share something with you. At the time I joined 365, there were 5 stylists, including me and Elaine. Elaine, tell everybody what happened when we went back to the salon and put 5-step recipe, or tried to put 5-step recipe into the salon. Tell everybody what happened. They all left, except for me and Elaine. It's the truth. They all left. And you know what? It was one of the bloody best things that happened. I didn't think so at the time. It was actually the first time I ever stared bankruptcy in the face. And staring bankruptcy in the face is something really scary, and I don't wish it on anybody. But I want to tell you, every time I've stared bankruptcy in the face, it's made me implement things, right? So they left. It's quite right. There was just me and Elaine left. Elaine, I will always be grateful to Elaine for this, because here's what happened. Elaine and I worked 6 days a week. I mean, people just didn't open on Sundays in those days, right? But we worked 6 days a week from 8 in the morning until 10 o'clock at night, every night, every day. I mean, we worked ourselves to the ground. Us two took, for the first 2 weeks that these 3 left, we took, us two, as much or more money than 5 of us were taking. 2 of us, right? But we nearly killed ourselves doing it. Meanwhile, we, you know, sort of, we had a trainee at that time, an apprentice who was very near finishing. That was where I learned fast tracking, because we fast tracked her and she was on the floor like within weeks, and she was a great stylist. We recruited and trained, and the rest, as they say, is history, right? It was one of the best things that happened. They tried to take their clients, and they took very few clients. And I'll tell you why. Because we weren't doing that old, what they wanted to do. The clients showed us that they loved what we were doing. When we were saying, come in, take a seat. We do things a little differently now. We want to sit down with you and have a consultation. We want to really understand what it is that you want from your hair. It's really important to us that you get great results every day. That's where 365 came from. 365-day hairdressing. We care about your hair 365 days of the year, not just on the day you came to the salon. That's where it came from over 30 years ago, right? So now that was a transformation. I'm telling you, that was a transformation. Let me tell you, today most hairdressers have a consultation similar to that, right? Of that vein, or they, let's talk about before pandemic, right? But it took them 10 or 20 years to catch up with that. Okay, so for salons like ours who were implementing this, our new clients were off the chart. I can't even begin to tell you. We went from 2 stylists, me and Elaine, then it was 3 stylists because we promoted Julie onto the floor, then it was 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and I'm not kidding you, we were up to like 10 stylists fully booked within, I don't know, how long, Elaine? Well, yeah, 10, 12 stylists, like within 18 months. Is that right, Elaine? Within about 18 months. I'll tell you, within about 18 months, right? That's how I come to open a second salon, because we had to. We didn't have any more room for everybody. We built an extension out the back. It was incredible. It's an incredible story. And I think back to then, and I've been trying to find ways to elevate a business. I remember Leslie Spears used to say, how can a business go from 0 to 5,000, 10,000 a week, and then plateau off and can't get to the next level? And that's been something that's been puzzling me for such a long time. But we were, so let me just go back. Not only did we grow 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 stylists, 12 stylists, 2 salons, 3 salons. Not only did we grow quickly, when we joined 365, can you remember how much we were charging, Elaine, for a cut and blow dry? I can remember. Let's see if she can remember how much we were charging. Let's see. She's racking her brain. No, £9.50. We were charging £9.50. And yeah, exactly. And some of you may remember Ray Day, right? Your cut and blow dry was £19.50, Lisa, back in the late 80s. I doubt it. We're talking 30 years ago. Who remembers? Yeah, okay. Who remembers Ray Day? Ray Day. Okay, good. So some of you remember Ray Day. Ray Day was a 365 lecturer when I joined 365, and he happened to have a salon in the same town as us. And so we he had a salon in the same town as us. So I want you to imagine that he was killing it. And we joined 365. We were charging £9.50. Anyway, he was really pissed off, and he used to tell me. And he said, "Look, I've got over the fact," he said, "that you've joined my club." We became really good friends, Ray and I. I've got over the fact that you've joined my club, he said. But what I can't get over is that you've now got the information, you're putting it in place in your salon, and your prices are a lot less than mine, and that's not right. You know, it's not right. It's not right for you. He said, put your bloody prices up. You used to send me little notes. Is that true, Elaine? Do you remember? I used to send little notes and stick them through the door before we arrived in the morning. And one day, there was this envelope, and I opened it. It got a little note in there. It said, excuse my language. No, I'm not going to do the whole. It said, put your effing prices up. Love, Ray. So we were driving the prices up. And very, very quickly, we had doubled our prices, right? Within about 18 months, we had doubled our prices, right? So Elaine and I started at £9.50, and within about 18 months, we were charging £18 for a cut and blow dry, because that's how much Ray was charging. And he kept really pushing me, bullying me, pushing me to put the prices up. No, but it was great. Can you imagine what it did to the business? Right? Anyway, I'm telling you all these things because what I'm asking you to do today, this is not the first time that people have had to push the boundaries of mindset and what the clients are used to and what they want and what they don't want. They don't know what they want and need, right? Because they don't know it yet. So I thought that it was very, very important for us to understand that. So where consultation was, where it went to, what happened in doing that. And we can use the same analogy. So for those of you who've not been hairdressing for 30 years plus, how many of you about 10 years? How many of you about 10 years? Let's see. Just put a Y. About 10 years, right? It might even be a little bit less than 10 years. Okay, we can apply the same thing to skin testing, right? 10 years ago, nobody was skin testing. Nobody, right? 10, 12 years ago, whatever it was, about 10 or 12 years ago, nobody was skin testing. And I can remember when I went to my managers, right? And I said, we're going to skin test every client every time, right? What do you think the manager's first reaction was? Some of them are on here. Some of them were on here. Right? Yeah, no way, really? Sharon said, sorry, but I was. Sharon, you know that you were the exception to the rule. If you were skin testing every client every time, like more than 12, 13 years ago, you were the exception to the rule. Right? The client, that won't work. The clients won't like it. We can't do that. The cost, all of those things, right? So now we had the innovators, people who said, well, we've got to do this. Then we had the early adopters, right? Then we had the early majority. Then we had the late majority. And we've still got hairdressers out there today who are sitting there saying, no, I've never seen a client have a reaction. I don't have to do this. And then something happens to them, right? They get someone wants to sue them. You see it on social media. People say, you should read this book, right? They read the book. In the book, I actually, because I want to help people, in the book, for those of you that have read it, you will have seen, where is it? Hang on. I found it the other day. Where is it? Wait a minute. In the book. It's actually at the front and at the back. Let me find the one at the back. In the book. Anyway, in the book, I can't find it now. In the book is my email address, right? And I say to people, here's my email address, contact me. Anyway, so I have people contact me. Some of them find me on Facebook, whatever. Why can't I find that? How annoying. I looked for it the other day. And they contact me, right? And of course, the first question I ask people, did you skin test the client? I can't believe it when people still tell me today, no, I didn't skin test her. They're toast. They're toast, right? Had one today. What did you have? Send out mixed colour for client to apply £40. Good luck to them. They're not insured for it. I am telling you, those no win, no fee solicitors, they don't know yet how they're going to make money out of this, but they are. They're sitting there trying to find their, their way in, right? So yeah, that's what I thought that you had meant, Andy. So anyway, I'm trying to give everybody, what I'm trying to do now is work on our mindset and our understanding of things do change over a period of time, right? And we can make our mind up. We can decide whereabouts in that change we fit. Okay. So let's talk about the opportunity that we have now. The client makes an appointment. Now, it's fairly standard. We've all got these systems now that are automated. We can email clients, we can set up texts. So the client makes an appointment and we send an appointment confirmation. So this is good. We are already digitally communicating with the client. So for anybody that's thinking, oh gosh, clients are not going to, this is very, very communicating with customers by confirming things is very common. Give me some examples of how you are communicated with businesses confirming things. Yeah, text, but WhatsApp, but what kind of businesses are communicating with you? Yep, so dentists. Who else? Chiropractor. Dentist, doctor, opticians, keep going, beauty, opticians, doctors. I've had one today. I bet some of you, hospital, some of you have had text messages today. Chiropodist, chiropractor. Who else is texting you? Some of you have had them today. I've had one. Domino's, BT, the bank. Yeah, lots of businesses you have to fill out a form. Royal Mail. Talk, Domino's. I've had one this morning from Hermes. They've delivered a parcel. And they text me to tell me it was coming today. And then they text me to tell me they've delivered it. So communicating with businesses in this way is very common for us, right? It's very common for us, okay? So we are communicating and they are communicating with us. So let's know that as far as communicating in this way with clients is concerned, it's happening with lots and lots of businesses, right? Now, what the government said that we and other businesses should do, and it's where a lot of this came, if you read the 50-page government guidelines for we're now personal care, but they called it close contact services. But you'll all remember the book way in the beginning. And what it said was you must send people information in advance, and you must collect as much information as you can before people come to the premises, right? So we should send consultation questions. That is what we're supposed to be doing. We're also supposed to be making sure we collect all the right information before they come. So we started this at Feathers back in July. And I know some of you did too. And we're still working on it, right? So it's still not perfect. It's why I've asked my team are either on here, or if they're not, it's compulsory that they all see the thing on catch up. If they haven't seen it, then they're not going to be able to come back to work. It's as simple as that, because they won't know what we're doing, right? So really very important that we do this. So we send consultation questions, and this goes to everybody. That's why it's got 3 there. And then for clients that are having a colour, we send separately a chemical consultation. Now, I'm going to show you. We've refined this because when we first did this in July, and I'm sure many of you are the same, we had more questions on it than we've got today. So we have now got it down to 4 questions, okay? And in a minute, you'll understand why. But here's what it looks like. So the client receives this by email, and she clicks on, and it says, please complete and return this consultation form to help us plan your appointment. Now, if you read the article, one of the things that I said in the article is this. A problem for us has been, particularly, as hair services have become more and more complex, and I've got to remember to tell you all the stories that I was thinking about that I believe are important. But services have become more and more complex. When I was a young stylist, I was a young stylist when Lady Diana got engaged to Prince Charles. And I want to tell you that for those of you that were hairdressing at that time, back me up on this, all we did for about the next 9 months, right, was highlights and layered haircuts, right? And that's all we had to do. And it was the same, right? So it was fairly, I don't want to do down what we were doing back then, but hairdressing was fairly simple, really. Now, don't get me wrong. I was around, and actually I had a really interesting thought last night. I need to ask my boss, who trained me. I realised yesterday I don't know who trained him. So I'm going to find that out, my family tree of hairdressing. But anyway, when we think about what it is that we face today, now, part of what drives what we face today is that we can't colour the hair of anyone under 16, right? And if you are a professional hairdresser, you should definitely not colour anybody under 16, right? But does that mean that under 16-year-olds are not getting their hair coloured? What's happening? Tell me what's happening. What's happening? Yep, they're doing it at home themselves. Now, when do they come to us? When do they come to us? The professional hairdresser. When do we see them for the first time to fix it? They don't come to us until it goes wrong or it needs fixing. In other words, they've coloured it. They want something different. They realise they're not able to do it by themselves. They need a professional. So by the time we see them, the first time we've seen them, they're sitting in the chair, and what have they got? The hair's breaking off. It needs a colour correction. It's a mess. It's too dark. They want it lighter. They come with their Instagram hair of dreams. Now, one of the things that I have seen going on in salons, and not only in salons, we have it with education. It's been a problem for us. We turn up at a salon to do a simple education, like a demo of this is how our product works, and sitting in the chairs, am I right, educators, are girls with like work that we're supposed to be showing them how brilliant our products are, right? And they've given us somebody with hair down her back, right? Dark hair. She's been colouring at home for the last 5 years. And they show us how your products work. We want to see a balayage. Like, you get that too, right? She's sitting in she's booked online. She's booked highlights. She's sitting in the chair. Her hair's down here, right? She's got all sorts going on, okay? You're having a consultation with her. The clock's ticking. Your next client's coming in very soon. She's showing you a picture and you're going, that ain't going to happen today. And if she came in with that expectation if that's what she wants and she doesn't get it, tell me what happens. You do your absolute best. You couldn't have done anything more. You've done, in fact, you look at it and you're so proud of it. You think no one else could have achieved what I've achieved today. You don't see her again. She goes elsewhere. What else? It's worse than that. They're disappointed. They give you a negative review. They give you, yeah, what else do? They complain. What do they want? They complain. They badmouth us on. They want their money back. They want a refund. It wasn't what I asked for, right? So you got all these problems. I want my money back. You bring her back. You do it again for her. Now what problem have we got? You do it again free of charge. Now what problem have we got? Now what problem? You do it again free of charge. Yeah, she wants her money back. Still not right. Or even if it is, then she starts saying, my hair condition, you ruined the hair condition because you didn't get it right in the first place. You had to do it again. You put bleach on bleach, all of these things. It's got to stop, right? Yeah, you end up in court, you get sued, out of pocket, whatever it might be. And this is still going on, all this people getting sued stuff, I promise you. So we've got to put an end to that. So what it says there, this will ensure your appointment is undertaken timely and efficiently with health and safety in mind. And the health and safety part is this. If the client is supposed to be in the salon for 3 hours, she's supposed to be in the salon for 3 hours. What the regulations say is that we shouldn't have too many people in the salon, right? People shouldn't be skipping from, thinking about all those things. So what we need and what is best for us and for our clients is that we know how our day is going to pan out. Let's go back to a doctor. Does he walk into a full day of surgeries, operations one after the other, one after the other, one after the other, not actually knowing quite what he's doing today? No. When he walks into that operating theatre, he knows exactly what he's doing that day, right? And how long that should take. If he doesn't know that, then he books out his whole day, right? That's what he does. So that's why we're asking people, we're saying we want to plan your appointment. We want to know that your appointment is going to be undertaken timely and efficiently, right? And that's health and safety. It's better for everybody. By the way, one of the things I'm really looking forward to with this, I've seen it so and experienced it myself, where you're doing hair, but whilst the service is actually going on, right, you're like, oh God, is it going to come out all right? Is it going to be? I want to see that go away. For lots of different reasons, but one of the reasons is so that the job is more enjoyable and less stressful. Anyway, so question 1, what's the reason for your appointment? Is it a haircut, a makeover, a restyle cut, a makeover or a new color, a hair color, a conditioning treatment, or is it other? Tell us more. Now, why are we asking this question? The client's already made her appointment. Why are we asking this question? To check, yeah, clarification, to check what? Have they booked the right appointment? Because they booked the wrong things. They book a cut and blow dry, but really they want a redesign. They book highlights, but really they want a brand new colour, right? So this question is where we look for the flags. This is a really important principle here. On this bit, we're looking for the flags, right? So when she says, I'm looking for a makeover, a redesign cut, if she's booked for a cut and blow dry, what do you need to do? What do you need to do? Yeah, you've got to change the amount of time, right? So you need to speak to her, call her, and you need to tell her, I need to book more time for that. And if you're going to book more time, what does that also mean for her? More money, right? And you need to let her know. And if she doesn't want to pay for that, that's okay. Let her go somewhere else. When you go back to work, in the first instance, you're going to have plenty of opportunities for finding new clients, especially if you are doing what nobody else is doing, right? So here we're looking for the flags, right? And as soon as we see a flag, in other words, what is ticked here is not it's not congruent with what's in the appointment book. We know that this is a digital consultation. Here's the second question. Which of the following services have you had in the last 6 months? A salon colour, salon bleaching, salon straightening, salon perming, or have you done a home treatment? Now, why do you think we're asking this question? And what's your comments on this question? I know what some of them are because, of course, I've done all this with my own team. But come on, tell me what you immediately think. Yeah, we want to make sure that we can prepare our canvas, that she's not going to turn up with all this. We want to gauge the hair condition, right? Yeah, we want to know, do we need to do a crystal gel? Sharon has said that they will lie. Yes, they will. But here's the kicker. When they turn up in the salon, right, and they haven't told you the truth, you can go back to this and say, we asked you and you didn't fill it in properly. And so there's a couple of things. Number one, it helps you if you do end up in a situation where you're in the salon, and you've got this out of gauge situation, she's had the opportunity to tell you all this stuff and she failed to tell you. Number one. Number two, from a legal point of view, you have got evidence of the fact that this is what we asked, this is what she replied, this is how we ended up where we ended up, right? So it's all documented. Yes, it absolutely is. But if she is honest, so there is that element of she won't tell the truth. We know that. That's okay. We have then been able to cover our back. If she does tell the truth, it does give us the opportunity to talk to her. We then want to see her hair, don't we? You want to see it. You don't want to see that like for the first time, 2 minutes into an appointment. You want to see it so she could send you pictures or you could FaceTime her, right? You might want to take some strand tests because you need to compatibility tests, right? Because you need to know whether the service is whether it's possible. And let me tell you, a lot of cases that I see now, they are asking, why didn't you do compatibility tests or strand tests, right? So they've gone beyond now the skin testing and they're digging more into that. But you want to do it for yourself anyway. So now we have the opportunity to see her hair, do some strand tests, talk to her about the way that we would rather do the service or what the options are, what we can achieve in one day, what we can do, how many, and I can see that Val has put there, we want to build a picture. So that's exactly what we want to do. The third question says, what are your hair concerns? Now, this is important as well, right? Because let's take for an opportunity, for an example, somebody says, one of my hair concerns is this skin or scalp condition. Well, if somebody's got a scalp condition, that is a concern, right? Because if people have got very bad scalp, you all know shampooing takes much longer, right? So you might want to ask the client to come a little bit before the appointment time so that you can deal with that as a very basic answer to that. Now, Irma has put there, it's the best question for retail. It is indeed. And here is something I'm going to advise you. If in your salon you use, what are they called? Someone help me out. The client goes away with the prescription, or the Euphora consultation form. Do not make the mistake of asking the client to do this online and then asking her to do it again in the salon. Now, in my salons, thank you, Leanna, we love Euphora consultation cards because when we use them, the retail goes up. And when we first went back in July, I wasn't allowing the stylist to use them because I thought that, you know, can't use them, etc., etc. It was only when I went to a restaurant and they gave me a menu, right? And they said, here's a menu, but they throw it in the bin or you take it with you. And I thought, well, the client's taking the consultation with the card with them. So we went back to using the Euphora consultation cards and the retail went up. If you're going to do that, then transfer this information onto that consultation card for the client. Don't ask the client to do it twice, because then they think that you haven't looked at this information. So if you're not going to look at the information, don't ask the client to do this in advance. Let us know what's important to you when it comes to your hair. Is it healthy hair, shiny hair, something low maintenance, a quick service, home hair advice, relaxing experience, improved condition, vegan hair care, on trend, suitability or skin tone? Tell us more. So these are the questions on number 4. They tick a few, and that is it. That's all that's on there, those 4 questions. Now, remember, every client's getting this. So your regular clients are getting this. Your gents are getting it. You can, you can choose which services and clients that you send consultation forms for. And at this point, what I want to say is this is just what we do. You can decide what is best for you. But one of the things that you must do, in my opinion, is find the complex services and the new clients, and you must consult with those people before they come to the salon. You have the opportunity to build rapport with that client before she walks through the door, so that you're not trying to build rapport like this, because it's much harder, right? And you also will have the opportunity to be able to plan your day better and make sure that the clients are getting the right services, and that you're not in a situation in the salon where you're thinking, or you say to the client, well, really what we need to do here is we need to do a crystal gel. And the client says, well, I don't want to spend £20 more, right? You don't end up with that situation. So let's go back to our client journey. I'm going to come back to the chemical consultation because some of you are probably curious about that. I'll come back to that, right? So, but from that form there, that should give you the flags to then contact that client either by call or message or FaceTime or Zoom, however you want to set it up in your salon. Now, I've spoken to people about this. So again, tell me what are some of your your voice 2 is saying. Oh, the reasons why you can't do it. Come on, and I've spoken to a few people this week in doing this, so I know what they are, but I want you to put okay, so Matt, right, what is your system procedure? That's what I'm going to come to. So I'm going to come now to our system and procedure. Stylist of client contact info and could poach. Yeah, okay, Sharon, yes. Erin, feeling awkward. Thank you for putting your head above the parapet on that one. I like that. Next, yeah, having the confidence to do it. Okay, what else? What else? Come on, even if you're someone I've spoken to this week and I've ironed out your kinks, if I've changed your mindset, share with everybody what your thoughts were. Catching a client off guard, excellent. Stylist thinks it's intrusive, good. Come on, bring it all out. Come on. If you were all in this room with me right now, we'd be putting all this on a flip chart, managing the information once you have it. Yes? Come on, let's go. Let's go. What else? What else? Someone hasn't said the one that comes most often. Yep, fear. Okay, what else? Stylists don't think they have the time. Thank you. Yep, the time to do it. Excellent. Rejection. Okay. All right, that's a good enough list. Okay, so we're going to talk through all of these things. Let me just tell you that we've been playing with this for about the last 2 years. Since July, we put it in place with some success. We weren't as successful as we could have been, but not that the client knew that it wasn't a success, because the client doesn't know about this because nobody's doing it, right? We've had one client that did not want to take part, one in probably 10,000 client visits since July, right? One client. My team, is that right? This client, one client, is that right? Yeah. What did I tell that client? What did I say to that client? The team don't know, but the managers. I was a bit more elegant than piss off. I said to the client, she wrote me a long email, and I addressed all of her concerns. And at the end of the email, I said, I can see why you're not a Feathers client. And so I'm glad that we have the opportunity to part company. Did I? We are not the salon for you. That is exactly what I said, right? I said, we are not the salon for you. I can see why we're not the salon for you. She was pissed off. Oh my God, that woman. Well, I'm not even going to go there. She kept telling me, like, take me off your blah, blah, blah. And I took her off all the things, and she's still bloody emailing me, coming at me. I'm like, you're the one emailing me. Go away. You know, we don't want you. Give us some space for somebody who's going to appreciate the kind of hairdressing that we want to do, not what you want us to do. You go and find someone else to do what you want. We want to do what we know is right. So anyway, one client. Okay, that's all we've had. Let's address these things. Now, for those hairdressers who are really, really busy, back to back, okay? A couple of things I'm going to say. Number one, you are going to have very few clients that you will have to address in this way, because most of your clients are people that you're doing all the time. When you do her hair this time, you make plans about what you're going to do next time, so you already know what you're going to be doing. You don't have many new clients, right? So actually, you're going to have a handful of clients a week that you need to do this with. The people who are going to have more clients are going to be those stylists that are still building, that get a lot of new clients, right? They're exactly the stylists that would really benefit from this too, because they're the ones that, like, when they get a client in that's not, you know, and it's one of those, oh God, who are they relying on? Who are they relying on? Those stylists. They get a client in, it's a little bit complex, they haven't got enough time booked out. They're relying on the salon owner, right? Or the busy stylist or the manager. Yes, right? And so now everyone's stressed, okay? So let's address it more up front. So let's make time. Now, way back in the day, who remembers back in the 365 days when we used to offer free consultations? We used to have stickers on our door. Free consultations, come in. Remember that? How successful was that back in the day when we were the only salons doing that? How successful was it? Yeah, it was very successful. Clients loved it. And every time a client came in for a free consultation, invariably, what happened? It was very rare that you didn't get an appointment, right? So, exactly. So, it's just like it's that time again, right? But it's in fact, when I was thinking about that, I was like, we ought to do that. Like that company there, the hydro pool, they said if you want a telephone consultation, then have that, right? So that's something we could build in. Let's not do that right now. Well, you could do it right now. You've got plenty of time, but you can't make an appointment. So you don't want to be like taking someone to a sweet shop and then saying you can't eat the sweets. So let's not do that right now. And when we go back, let's give ourselves a bit of, but that could be a great program down the way when we're really good at this stuff, right? So for the very, very busy stylist, you're only going to have a couple a week. There are going to be some stylists who have got more, but we must give people time to do this. So that's the first thing. We must make the time, right? And as a salon owner, I am going to give my team time. And if people don't, I had a stylist that I was speaking to, she's very, very busy, and she doesn't want to take time out of her column for like things which are no income when she could have something in there with income. Said, so stay behind at the end of the day or come in early and do it, right? But just find the time. It's not going to take very long. Now, the other thing is, people say, well, when you try and get hold of a client, you have to ring and ring and ring and ring and ring and ring. Okay, what is happening right now with Zoom calls and things like that? What happens? Does your doctor keep trying to call you? What happens? What happens? You book a time. You book a time. It goes in the schedule. So anybody can get in touch with the client and say, hello, Debbie. This is Jane from Feathers. Thank you so much for making your appointment. Your stylist would really like to have a consultation with you over the telephone so that she can make sure that she knows in advance exactly. She wants to introduce herself, and so that she knows in advance exactly what it is that you want, so she can make sure she's got the right amount of time booked out. When is a good time for you? Right? So now you make it like an appointment, and people are used to these appointments, right? It's become a normal part of life for us. Webinars, Zoom calls, etc., etc. So I'm not asking for hairdressers to start trying to phone clients unless you've got the time to be able to do that. Anybody can do that. Anybody can make that appointment, right? So we make an appointment for a call. Maybe the client doesn't want to do it as a call. You could do it as messages. When Carly and I have worked on this, Carly has done it as calls, FaceTime, messages. It all works. It all works. Then if you get to a situation where you realize that you do need to strand test, it's easy to get the client to come in to do the strand test. That becomes part of the consultation, etc., etc. So are we all happy and understanding that what we do here is we approach it in a very professional way? We say to the client, your stylist would like the opportunity to introduce herself, right? Or if it's not a new client, your stylist would really like to have a chat with you before you come in so that we can make sure that she's got enough time and that you've got the right appointment for what you want, right? We're liking it? Good. Okay. Have we addressed all of the things that we talked about earlier? Have we addressed all the things that we were talking about, all the objections? I think we have, yeah. Let's just quickly then look at if a client is having a chemical treatment, we send this as well. Yes, Carly, builds level 3 relationships, right? And they're more likely to be loyal. And one of the things I want to, and they're more likely to talk to their friends about it. And their friends say, I'm thinking about getting my hair done. You must go to my stylist. You'll get this consultation before you go. And instead of the client worrying about meeting you for the first time, she's met you, you've made this great relationship, albeit over video. So when you welcome her to the salon, right, you welcome her not as as a new client, right, but as somebody who has met you before, okay? And so she feels more comfortable as well, okay? So now, let me just show you what's on this chemical consultation. I know lots of you are already using it, but if you're not, and I'm just going to go through this quickly for a couple of reasons. So, have you had a perm, straightening or colour at home or in the salon in the last 6 months? Any surgery? Now, I just want to show everybody this because this was a modification that we made. Surgeries and medications can affect the hair and scalp. Do you need to share any relevant information with your stylist? I know that lots of salons had some GDPR issues with clients. Why do you need that information? So we asked the client, do you want to share the information? Now, if they don't, and at a later date, they want to rely upon that as an argument with us or as evidence, we can show that we asked them if they would like to share it and they declined to. Pregnancy and breastfeeding can affect the hair and skin. Do you need to share any relevant information with your stylist? Exposure to chemicals and minerals can affect the hair. Swimming pools, seawater. Do you need to share any relevant information with your stylist? Have you ever had an allergic reaction to cosmetics or a chemical hair service? Do you suffer from eczema, dermatitis, or psoriasis on your scalp or face? Lastly, there's a little disclaimer there. How long? It talks about metallic oils, salts, hybrid dyes, and it says, please ask for a simple or quick compatibility test. In other words, at a later date, people can't say, why didn't you do a compatibility test? Well, here we could say, well, you were offered it, you didn't take it. Henna tattoos may contain high levels of PPD, which can sensitize you to some hair colorants. Have you ever had a henna tattoo? The following products can leave residue in the hair, which is not always visible to the eye. They're easily removed. Have you recently used any of the following products? Self-tanner, cosmetic root cover spray or powder, or dry shampoo. And then there's I will complete a skin test review 72 hours before this appointment. We are currently, as you should review, we are currently reviewing our skin testing protocols. And so this is where we are with it right now, but it might change, okay? Now, at this point, just so that I don't forget, remember on the 12th of February, I'm doing a skin testing webinar, and brand new news to you, on the 17th of February, it's not up there yet, but we'll have it up there. On the 17th of February at 10 a.m., we are hosting Colour Start, and they are doing a webinar for you. It's for Passion for Hair customers only. They're doing a webinar to show you the passport system, the passport scheme, the video, the marketing for clients, the website. So they are coming to do that for you, okay? So my webinar's on the 12th. That talks about skin testing in general. And then on the 17th, 10 o'clock, a webinar with Colour Start. That webinar cannot be recorded, and Colour Start have not given us the permission to record that and share that on our YouTube channel, okay? So that's very important. In case you didn't know, NHBF are also reviewing their skin testing protocols, and that's what made me say you all need to review your skin testing protocols, okay? You might review it and say it's fine as it is, and that's good. Depends what insurance company you're using and how they are going to react to, one, Colour Start changes, and two, to the protocol changes, if there are any, from the NHBF. If there aren't any protocol changes from the NHBF, I'm confused about why it's taking them so long to get it back up there. Let's remember that the MHRA, and if that sounds familiar to you, it's because they are the medicine body that approve medicines, and they are doing all the vaccines. It is the MHRA that have approved ColourStart as a medicine and have said they don't want to see people being overexposed to PPD, and skin testing people every time is overexposing them to PPD. Okay, so don't have sleepless nights over it. We've got 6 weeks before we know we're not going back before 6 weeks, and we've got this time to get all of this in place. All right, so that's where we are with that. So let's go back to our client journey. So let's start from the beginning again. Client makes the appointment, gets an appointment confirmation. They'll get an email with the consultation questions, everybody. If they're having a technical service, they'll also get the chemical consultation form. In there will be some clients, not everybody, new clients and clients with complex services that will get this consultation. Okay. Our email does give people the opportunity to put themselves forward for it. Then they get an appointment reminder before they come, and then they arrive at the salon. I mean, I am so excited about this. I cannot tell you. This is the way forward for hairdressers. And for those people that adopt this early and get it in place early, you are going to be the salons, better to be first than it is to be better. You're going to be the ones like the salons in the early days of 365 that absolutely elevated their businesses, right? People were, I mean, they had formulas back then, you know. They were among the first millionaires in hairdressing, those people. You name a lot of very, very successful and wealthy hairdressers in our industry right now, and I'll tell you whether or not they were 365 members, right? So I'll come back to some of those questions in a second. Let me make sure of where I am and what I should be doing right now. Now, this is the outcome, right? The outcome. You will know you've got this right when the client arrives at the salon for her appointment and you know what she wants and how you will carry out that service. When you've got that outcome, you will know you've got this right. Now, when you find yourself in a situation when you're in the salon and a client arrives and there's a surprise going on, right? You'll know that somewhere you didn't quite get it right. And that's okay, because at this point, the client's got nothing to judge it against, right? Because she's not received this before. So that's what makes us lucky. We're able to kind of put these things in place, as it were, and where we make mistakes, it doesn't matter because the client doesn't know any different. In 5 years down the line from here, clients would have experienced this. And if they go to a new salon, remember when we used to say that in 365, if the client is naughty enough to go to another salon, she'll be in the salon, she'll be going, God, what am I doing here? These people are not nearly as good as the salon I went to before, right? So that's the situation we'll have 5 years down the line. But we haven't got that situation yet. So that's the outcome. When we've got it right, that is what will happen. Imagine going to work every day, you're fully booked, but you know every client, just like a surgeon would know, every client, exactly what you're doing today. Now, things are not, you know, there's always going to be something with the hair that goes, you know, funky, whatever it is, but it won't be like multiple things every day, you know, where I can remember being in the salon where, you know, there have been days where you get to the end of the day and you go, my God, I don't even know how we did that, right? Because it's just all going a little bit crazy. Let me make sure that I have told you everything that I want to tell you. So Brittany from Canada is doing the balayage webinar for us on Monday. So make sure that it won't be streaming. Make sure you're signed up for that. It won't be going on our YouTube channel, which does bring me to a new feature that we have for these webinars that we are bringing to you that are new, fresh, competitive, right? Remember, I said to you, I just don't want to bring to you another lot of noise. I want it to be so that when you're joining us, you're joining us, because it's fresh and it's new and et cetera, et cetera. So, I mean, that's who we are, right? That's who we are. Us and you, that's who we are, right? So, so we have these webinars now, which are strict, people either have to pay with money or with points. And if you're a Passion for Hair customer, you have points to buy these. So we have now what we call Online Academy on Demand. So for an example, Richard's webinar that he did on Tuesday, and if you saw it, wasn't it great? I loved it. Well, as you know, honestly, I've been cutting bits off my hair ever since, training my hair ready. I'm going to have a mullet. I'm going to get used to getting this off my face a little bit more. Don't know how I'm going to do that yet, but I'm cutting these sides and I'm going to have longer bits down here, right? Anyway, if you missed it, you can get it on demand. And if you were signed up for it, you've had an email inviting you to view it one more time. So, Passion for Hair Academy on demand. Brittany, balayage on Monday. And do you know what's so exciting? Canada Salons opened up about 2 weeks ago. So she's doing a live model, a real person getting their hair done. Imagine that. So that's on Monday. Now, we have got something else exciting to tell you. This too is not up there yet, but we always want to bring to you the best programs, the best things, etc., etc. And we know how important marketing is and how difficult it is, etc., etc. Anyway, very long story short, and I hope I do this introduction justice. We are working in conjunction with Oliver Shannon. Oliver Shannon is part of the Shannon family, who own Professional Hairdresser magazine. And Oliver has put together a marketing. By the way, Oliver he helps us with a lot of our marketing. He's one of the consultants we use. And he's put together a program for hairdressing salons, and Passion for Hair have it exclusively. We're the first. So he's going to do a webinar. The webinar is on the 19th of February. The link's not up there yet, but it will be up there in the next couple of days. So Oliver Shannon's doing on the 19th of February, and he's going to introduce the marketing program. He's going to give you an opportunity to get involved for free. And then he has got some programs that you pay for, but there's an opportunity to get involved for free. And you'll be introduced to the programs that he's got, which in my opinion are excellent programs. It will be money well spent for those of you that need that marketing information and that marketing help. So we are really excited about that. So you can see we are doing lots of things in the background with you. Let's take the questions now, Declan. I saw that there were some questions, and if you've got any questions, ask them, okay? How do you send cards with no postcode? GDPR. I don't understand the question, Matt. We've got postcodes for our clients. What do you mean? What do you mean? Just give me some idea of what you mean. Not many of yours have. Okay. Have you got addresses? Have you got addresses? Oh, okay. I understand what you're saying. Well, then you're going to have to do an electronic one. Because emails or text, whatever you've got. Do you know what? Because of those consultation forms that I've just shown you, that's how we have gained a lot of our addresses, is through that. I know, but I don't know what else to say. Unless you, I don't know. Uh, what's your system procedure answering all the negative responses in the digital consultation? E.g., my hair is home coloured, dark, I want to go light. Who is responsible for getting the images and the consulting with the guests, and when does this occur? So I hope I've answered that. You know, everybody's got to make their own system in the salon. When and who does the consultation? So I hope I answered when. Who does the consultation? We have had situations where other stylists have done the consultation for somebody, but it is better when the hairdresser does it themselves. Now, at this point, I do want to tell you an idea that I have had that I'm going to encourage you to get involved in. This is a really good opportunity to train your hairdressers, and do it by role play. And here's the kicker with this, right? This is the program I'm putting in place for my guys. I don't want them together when they're doing the role play. I want them, one's in one house and one's in the other house. So I'm going to get my managers and trainers to pick a style that they want, and then the hairdresser they're training has to contact them and say, hello, thank you so much for giving me the 5 minutes of your time. It gives me an opportunity, one, to meet you in advance, and thank you so much for choosing feathers. Where did you hear about us? Whatever you want your dialogue to be. Can you show me a picture of, I can see your hair. When's the last time you had it cut? When was the last time you had it coloured? And what is it that you're looking for? Show me the picture. What I'm really doing here is saying, do some role plays, right? So give people the opportunity to gain some confidence. That's what role plays do. They gain confidence. They make their mistakes in the role play. You can give a little bit of feedback. Somebody said there, I can't remember who it was earlier, said, oh, I feel a bit uncomfortable about it. The role play will help you to feel more comfortable with it, right? So I hope that's an idea that you all like, right? Doing the role plays, put that program together. Talk to me about that if you want to. We have had situations where other stylists have done the consultation, and that's okay. But of course, then what happens is the stylist still, whilst they've got the information, they still haven't got the, that rapport with the client. But we have done that in our salons. I'm sure if Jodie's there, Jodie actually was in her salon. They were the salon that really pioneered that. And we just came to the conclusion that it's just so much better when the stylists do it for themselves. But we did a lot of that. Somebody else doing the consultation. Okay, so what about the manufacturer with the skin test policy? Jane, that is a really, really good point, because we do now have this incongruence where the manufacturers say you should skin test every time you use the product, and we've got the MHRA on the other side that are saying, no, what we want to see is we want to see more screening and less exposure to PPD. So we don't know at the moment what's going to happen with this, but this incongruence, if you've been using a protocol of skin testing every 6 months or every 12 months, or if you've been using ColourStart, you've not been following this anyway, right? So it's not really about the manufacturers with the skin test policy. It's more about what your insurance company want to cover. That's what it's about. But that's what we'll talk about in the skin testing webinar. Okay, next question. Should everyone receive one in the beginning? So all new clients, yes, in my opinion, every new client, because even if it's just a 2-minute phone call, right? What it does is to me, it replaces the handshake. Okay? We can't shake hands. We can't do all the things that we know work, right? We can't do all that. So instead, what we're going to do is we're going to introduce ourselves in a 2-minute telephone call. And if the client really responds to that 2-minute telephone call, and wants more, then we can say, do you know what, Matt? It would really help me if I could see your hair. So can we quickly switch over to FaceTime, right? And switch the call to a video call or something. And I realised that for a lot of hairdressers, it's going to be awkward in the same way that shaking hands was awkward. And will we get everybody doing it? No. But that is the opportunity, right? That's the opportunity. The opportunity of 365 30 years ago was that so many people didn't want to do it, right? So that was the opportunity. What about when we go back? What about when we go back? What are you asking me, Matt? What about when we go back? I mean, I think you should have this in place for when you go back, right? That's what I think. And I realise how busy everybody will be, but that's the point, right? Because what you don't want when it's very, very busy is somebody sitting in the chair with hair down here, right? And she's been putting box dye on it, and she's got a picture, and she says, "I want this balayage," right? Because that's exactly, at that point, you're on a hiding to nothing. You're almost better off saying to the client, "No, do you know what? We're not doing it. Go on, out you go," because we know we're on a hiding to nothing. There will be surprises since the 19th of December. Yep, absolutely. A lot of surprises since the 19th of December. I think we're going to get a lot, just like everything about this lockdown is different, right, than the first one. Be the same for us. So where you had a lot of clients who hung on and waited, I don't think you're going to have that this time. I think that we're going to have a lot more people that have coloured their hair at home one way and another. Charging for consultations in the future. There are hairdressers that do that, Emma. I know a hairdresser she's a Euphora stylist, actually. She charges $50 for a consultation. Daniel might be able to tell us her name. Actually, I'm not sure that Daniel's there. Daniel might be able to tell us her name. But anyway, she's a Euphora stylist. She charges £50 for a consultation, a video consultation, $50. And she's had lots of people from the UK. Yeah. So, yeah, I do think that that is something that could happen, that you charge for them. And you might want to charge for them and say that, like a lot of these, when you go to the makeup counter, they charge you, I don't know, £15 or £20 to do your makeup, but they take it off the bill. So she's now famous on TikTok. Yeah, maybe Carly knows what her name is or can find out. Anna. Yeah, Anna something. Anyway. Yep. So that might happen. As well as the other thing that I know, I was the first to start talking to you about charging hourly, right, for these complex services. And I see loads now, loads of people talking about charging hourly. Okay. So, tone salon, is she the tone salon person? Asked Maisie. Manio, said Jody. Anna, is that Anna Manio? Anna Manio. Her handle, you know what that is, Matt. We used to have that with CB Radio. CB Radio, most people don't even know what we're talking about. 10-4, good buddy. And with that, 10-4, that's it. 10-4, good buddy. With that, I think we've come to the end. If there's anything, rubber duck, that's right. If there is anything you guys need, you know where we are. Hopefully, again, we've given you a lot to do. Oh, one last thing. If you want to see the feathers emails that go to the client, email me and I will forward them to you. But only if you email me, because if you email me, it's a very, very simple process of me copying your email address and putting it into the 4 emails and forwarding, right? But if you do it any other way, you make it too long and complicated for me. So I won't do it, okay? Thank you all. A little bit of work for everybody to do, but we like that. If there's anything you need, you know where we are. And enjoy your weekend. It's going to snow again, apparently. Deep joy. And happy Friday. And stay optimistic.